why did you decide to get the app? What's your strategy behind that? And, what can other publishers learn from, what you've done with the app over the last year or so now?
It's just, another platform. Some people like apps because they like the push notifications.
Right.
And some people prefer to just bookmark it and go right to the website.
Right.
It's just another platform. It's the notion and philosophy of giving them every option and let them choose, whether
Right.
that's, the app
Yep.
or desktop or tablet or mobile.
Right.
And then that as you drill into the content, and you have written articles, audible articles, text to speech. You can listen to your news. You can read your news. Video. You can watch your news. We have a full-time videographer that we continue to leverage that way. And so I
Right.
see with the podcast, we'll be able to double down on video and podcast, and all our podcasts can be um, basically transcribed using software into a written article.
Right.
So, and we do that. So we always double, triple, quadruple down on the media we produce.
Right. Yeah, it makes sense. That's kind of what I've heard from a couple other publishers. I mean, the thing that you mentioned right up front was the push notifications.
Right.
And I think, yeah, people that like push notifications to be able to offer that is really key, and the customization that they can have with the categories. So
Right.
I think those are all helpful. One thing that a publisher has asked us to do, and we now have as an option, I was wondering, um, you can alternatively do custom push if you wanted to. I don't think you can do both. It's either automated or pushing specifically, but this guy just wanted a lot more control over exactly what went out. Like, he didn't want every college story to create a push notification, even if the audience opted into it. So that's kind of the other end of the spectrum. I mean, is that of any interest to you? Or are you happy with the way it's just going out
From
automatically?
what I recall, there's control on the default app. People can choose what they want to get notifications for.
Right.
The way I understand what you just said is, let's say I sign up for local news push notifications. I know we can push out anywhere from 5 to 20 stories a day.
Right.
Is that gentleman asking for that if it's a heavy day that not so many go out? I'm not quite sure what they're
Right.
looking for.
Right, right. I mean, I do think that's basically it. I think
Right.
it's that, yeah, he saw that, well, I mean, he's a little bit different than you. He's a print weekly, so they come out once a week, and all the stories kind of drop at one time.
Mm.
So, they're not scattered as much.
I
I think he
see.
wanted that control, maybe.
So
Yeah.
he needs a time filter, it sounds like, where they bleed out. If he's pushing out, he publishes 10 stories at once on his
Right.
weekly or daily, that then those are automatically pushed out over time and bled.
Right. I think that's a good third option, actually. But I still need to sit down and interview him once he starts using it. But he's been one of the unique publishers that, like, he actually gave user accounts to the fire department, the police department, so that they can send out their own. Well, they can publish their own posts on the website. They can send them to the newsletter, and then it would create a push notification. So
He's
he's
very trusting of his contributors.
He's trying to yeah, he's trying to, like, give them an app basically to communicate with the
Right.
community uh, on emergency stuff, which is interesting. Because who's going to download an app from the police station? I mean, and how else do you get that information? You might get it on Facebook, I guess, but this is, to me, smart because he's building the audience again for
Sure.
these people to use if they create the content, because that is content. I mean, if, like you said, he's completely trusting of them. I think he used to be a policeman, so he knows those people, so it's a different situation um, than most, probably. But yeah, I'm going to try to get some more details on how he plans to use those
Right.
differently. But yeah, I think the bleeding is really the best of both worlds. Like, how are you selling mobile? Like, can you explain that in a basic way for people? I mean, you're just basically reporting the stats, like you're showing advertisers, these are the stats that we have. I mean, how do you make it interesting to them, I guess, make them want to buy it?
I don't sell mobile per se. I
Right.
sell our coverage and our page views. I
Gotcha.
mention the percentage that is mobile,
Right.
if that's what helps. I think most people aren't surprised anymore. I think maybe 5 to 8 years ago, people would argue, well, we're 55 plus here and nobody uses mobile because
Right.
they're old. It's not the case. I mean, the analytics specifically show, if we're doing 4.5 million page views a year with 75 to 78% mobile, we know that our largest demographic as of right now is 55 plus. So
Right.
that means that, the vast majority of people 55 plus and older are on mobile.
Right. Right. Yeah, no, I get it. That's probably don't need to complicate it more than that. I mean, basically
Nope.
you're saying you're selling mobile, but you're selling page views. A page view is a page view. If they're interested in the breakdown, you have those
Yep.
stats available,
Yep.
and at the sales reps,
And so people go, well, how do they find my article? Let's say it's a paid placement. Well,
right,
our number one referrer, again, this is all viewable and verifiable in our analytics that we show people, is organic. So when you search for, an event, we'll most likely be on that front page. We
right,
usually are. Sometimes we're not,
right,
but we usually are.
right,
Um, and with the programs that really do well, that we have testimonials for and case studies for, especially with launching a new business, we have the page view count of those particular articles that have done well for the client. And we insist on access, whether direct or indirect, to their Google Analytics. And if they don't have Google Analytics on the page we're promoting, we require it. Otherwise, what's the point
mm,
of engaging them?
mhm,
So, we have requirements that help us gauge our effectiveness, which is
mhm,
helpful for the client. Plus, it's client retention, right? If we're
right,
killing it for the client and we're the number one referrer to their website, we're probably keeping that client.
right, right,
And that's the only thing I'd recommend is, require your clients to have Google Analytics, and that you either request a report once a month, or you have, some sort of management access so you
right,
can get in and look at the refer report is, how is the signalsaz.com, how's our website doing in terms of referring users to them? And
right,
we report back to the client, like, we're killing it for you, or hey, we need to adjust some stuff here. This ain't working.
right.
And that's what we do.
Well, that sounds like the best way that you could possibly demonstrate uh, ROI, just like showing them their metrics. I'm just curious why you don't use like our metrics. Is it just easier to look at theirs and just see all this traffic coming from signals rather than like looking at your newsletter clicks and your ad rotate clicks? Is that just too many
We
things
well,
to
we no,
consider?
we provide them click-through rates if they're a banner advertiser, right?
Right.
But they could be an advertiser a number of different ways on our site, right?
Right.
I don't know if I'm answering your question correctly.
No,
Um,
you are. Yeah, I get
so
it.
if it's a content article, if it's an article,
Right.
we're looking at those, how many total page views that particular article.
Right.
But then we'll also look at the refer report from the client's website and their analytics to see, okay, well, how many people actually went to their website after reading the article to get some
Right.
type of, gauge on that. Do we look at the back end of I think your question was, of, let's say, our website? Is that what your question was?
Right. Yeah. I mean, you answered it like you can easily see the traffic to a page on our site, an article, sponsored article. But
Right.
the clicks off there, can you get that data from our stats or
I'm
no?
not
I'm just
sure.
that's what I yeah, it's kind of a question. I'm honestly not sure of
I don't
either.
I don't think you can, because you would need access like a Google Analytics does to be embedded on their pages, I'm
Right.
guessing.
Yeah.
Um, we also employ other third-party software programs to track our performance
Hmm.
against other competitive sites.
Okay.
And we know we're the leader.
That's
Uh,
awesome.
and
Okay.
that's not being advertorial. That's just being realistic. That's just what we
Right.
are.
Right.
Um, and we're the top ranking site in Central Arizona compared to not only our competitor sites, but also the municipality sites. We
Right.
perform better than all of those combined.
Right. Right.
Um, so we use a host of different uh, programs, Google Analytics, obviously. We do look at our backend web servers. I look at our statistics on our newsletters,
Right.
which our hometown provides. Um, that's what I probably use the most in terms of backend stats from our hometown.
Right.
But you guys also provide a weekly, which I appreciate, a weekly analytics report to how many people download an Audible article and listen
Right.
to it,
Right.
as well as how many people click on the more stories tab.
Right.
So we can know right away how effective that is, and both are working. And
Right.
combine that with other programs and other analytics to come up with a number. It's not
Right.
really extrapolating, it's just adding them together.
Right.
So I add in Buzzsprout has analytics on their downloads.
Right.
We add that to how many downloads Audible and SignalsAZ provided by you guys to come up with a total number of downloads monthly.
Right. Right.
'Cause again,
Right.
we have two different, uh, if you will, two different podcast platforms. One's on their Audible SignalsAZ, and one is on the Buzzsprout podcast.
Right. Right. Gotcha. Yeah. So that's basically how you add up your
Our
total
monthly views.
plays,
Yeah.
your activity. And so when you go to an advertiser, do you say we get this many plays and this many page views? Are
Yep.
those the two main numbers? Cool.
Yep. Yep.
That makes sense. Yeah. I mean, a play is the equivalent of a page view.
Yep.
Um, cool. All right. Well, let's just take a look at your site here because I mean, I know that they're working on getting those ads up. Are those
Right.
working yet? I'm just trying to check.
Not yet. I think it's really close.
Okay.
We just
Okay.
kind of talked about the other day, and again, your team's always super responsive, but um, I think it's real close to those going up.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we just want to make sure that, if there's any issue with the placement, I know that you're, really tuned into the layout of everything. So just let us know if you see any issues.
Yep, I
Obviously we'll take
appreciate
care of
that.
them. Yeah, no problem, man. It's still kind of a new program, but it's paying off better than AdSense. It's doing really well. We're it's in a moving target though. It seems to be changing a lot, um, just based on the number of ads that you run and stuff. So hopefully that works out really well for you. Um, all right, I guess I'll let you go for now, Guy. I really appreciate
Appreciate
your
it.
time today, dude. As
Yep.
always, great talking to you.
Yep. Yep. Likewise. All good here.
Okay,
I'll keep you
nice.
posted on the QR code stuff. We'll probably have a press release on it.
Nice.
When our Idelios comes out, we call it click, scan, save. Is the
Okay,
line for
Idelios.
Idelios.
I like
And
it.
we'll go from there.
Yeah, there's been a ton of publishers that have talked about doing this over the years, so it'll be nice to have a process. So appreciate your help on that.
All right, brother. Appreciate you
Okay.
guys.
All right. Thanks, man. We'll talk to you later.
Ciao.